And it's something that we don't really look enough at in this world. And it is really to understand actually, first of all, what makes us to be who we are. What is our true nature versus the nature we develop as a result of our conditioning or us growing up in this world. Because, of course, if we would have a different world with different values, different things that motivate us, we would develop differently. And so we are shaped as a result of the world we grew up in, of our environment shapes us, it molds us. To be what? That's really the question. How do we really become? How does our nature change? Yeah, and that is something that we never really look at, because I think we all question that at one point or another in our life. But then, of course, the pressure is too strong, because we have to perform, we have to conform, we have to do what we are told, and so we stop questioning that. I myself have never stopped questioning that. I always thought that there's something wrong, for the lack of a better word. Even though the world is, well, perfect, quote unquote, as it is, because that is how we created it. Well, this is all we know. This is the reality we grew up in, the world we grew up in, the physical world. What is really life all about on a, well, deeper level, so to speak? Who are we really beyond the consumer, the performer, the worker, the citizen, the role we play in our society, the labels we attach ourselves to? Is that really who we are? What we have learned in this world from other people, what we read in books, what we were taught in school? And then you have to really compare that to really that which we deeply know. That which we already know when we came into this world. Authentic knowledge, natural knowledge, or natural law, versus the man-made law with all the rules and regulation which we need in order for our world to function, or to dysfunction. As the effect we human beings have on our natural world, and the effect we have on one another. Of course, there is a lot of love in this world, and beautiful things human beings create: music, art, community, empathy, tolerance, appreciation, respect. But then also you need to look at the negative aspects of who we have become. Those negative qualities, those human qualities of aggression, injustice, struggle, strife, doubt, fear, which is definitely something that we learn when we come into this world. But yeah, what is real? It's just a question I would like for you to take a look at that, or to think of that. What is reality? We say that reality is perception. So we perceive the world to be the way it is, because that's all we know. And what we perceive, our perception, is our reality. But what lies beyond that? The reality beyond perception. Beyond our evaluations and judgments. Beyond what it is we know. What it is we have learned. And that's really where the journey begins, to understand, first of all, what have I learned? What do I know? What do I realize about myself and the world I live in? What is my philosophy? Because out of that we create our world. Out of that which we know. Out of that which we realize, we actualize. But it's time for a new consciousness to arise. And that begins with a new way of thinking, a new way of being, of realizing that we don't need to struggle, we don't need to compete, we don't need to fight, and to not fight that which we don't want, but to become aware of everything is happening the way it is because that is how we have created it. But we cannot fight that which we don't want, because when we fight, be it with other people or one country invading another country and waging a war and saying we need to fight the enemy outside, that is all part of the illusion, because by doing that we just give that more power, that which we do not want. And that is how we have been operating, we human beings, in this old consciousness. But in the new consciousness, we can open ourselves up to reality in order to become more real. Instead of just continuing to follow what it is we know or what it is we think we know, those personal perceptions, subjective perceptions which have created our reality. And we are stuck there, and we have been stuck there. Individually, we stopped changing a long time ago. And in this world, human history is basically repeating itself over and over and over because we have not learned from the past. Which is why we're repeating the same mistakes over and over and over. But now, we have the opportunity to learn. Now we can change. Now we create a new future, a new world. Because the future is now. And it is about that, being present, where we are more aware of not what we don't want and just continue to fight against that, but to become aware of what it is we want. And I think we all can agree on that, that what we want is more peace in this world, more understanding. We want to move beyond the suffering, beyond the injustice, beyond the fear. And how to get there is a personal thing. It starts with us. We don't need to wait for things outside of us, for our government to give us change, or a leader to give us change, or the Messiah to come, or the world to end, or the aliens to come and save us from our own destruction. Because we are the people. We are the chosen ones. Individually, that's where we create change. It is a matter of waking up and realizing our true nature, as we begin to also realize the nature of other people. And that includes everyone, not just those people who are dear to us and those people we like, people we agree with, people who make us feel comfortable and warm and loving. But also learning to understand the nature of those who we consider to be the problem. Those people we fight, those people we argue with, as we all have been hurt and we all have been disappointed. And so we have turned our back on certain people who have done us wrong. And just as much as if we look at on a global level, as we look at the problems of this world, we say it is the aggressor of another country or a regime or a certain individual, a certain president or a dictator, whoever it is. Those who are, who pull the strings basically, who are behind the system and control the system, they just follow their own nature, which they have developed as a result of what they have learned. They are basically just doing their job, they're fulfilling their function, they're playing their role. And so they're not really the problem. We should actually learn to look beyond that and understand that this is, again, we are all part of this matrix, of this consciousness, where everybody plays their part. Everyone is doing what they're doing as a result of what they have learned. And for us to really begin on that journey to really learn one another and to understand that, the problem does not lie outside of us. We all just fulfill our role. But who we really are is something we can't understand only if we go beyond the role, beyond the labels, beyond the perceptions, beyond what it is we know. That is where we can gain a new insight into the true nature of reality. As we have created it up until this point, as we have co-created it up until this point, And now at the verge of creating and co-creating a whole new reality, which is not fear-based, but it is love-based. And it is based upon the awareness that we all want. And that we're here to work together and to develop a system that can rise from within as a result of human collaboration and synergy. And that is something that very much starts on a personal level, in your own life, as you begin to work with the people in your life. Especially those people who are difficult for you to deal with. They are your greatest teacher. I welcome you to this awareness, this new philosophy of Realize to Actualize. But more than that, I welcome you to the practice. And I encourage you to begin on that practice every day, every moment of your life, to open yourself up to the reality beyond your own perception.